What is up, everyone? Welcome back. It is January of 2020. It is 2 years that I have had the honor and the pleasure of covering the amazing and incredible world known as the Portuguese rock and metal scenes. Today, we get to cover one of the most prestigious bands in that scene. We get to cover Sacred Sin. Sacred Sin are long-running purveyors of old-school death metal filth. Founded in 1991, they have the honor of being the very first band to be played on MTV back in 1993 on Headbangers Ball with Dark Side, much to the dismay of certain other people in the scene whose bands begin with Un or some similar thing to that. These guys have been slugging in the trenches for quite some time. They disbanded in 2011 to be reborn in 2017. 2019 saw a lineup change that brought long-time six-string extraordinaire Pika back into the fold. Topeka has played with Sacred Sin. He's played with Ramp. He's got a wealth of solo stuff, solo project, or a band with 909 and some other stuff out there. Fantastic guitar player. Also, the addition of Luis on second guitar and Gabby on drums completes the current lineup. This is the second single we're checking out today, and it is called False Deceiver. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to hearing some of that old school death metal filth. There's video up for it on YouTube, but I'm actually going to utilize the WAV file sent to me by Jose to get the best possible sound quality I can for the track in the video. So massive thanks to main man, bass player, and vocalist Jose for sending me this. Big thank you, as well as Pika reaching out. I'm really looking forward to covering this for all of you guys. First Portuguese band I'm covering in 2020. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this. The band is Sacred Sin. The track is False Deceiver. And here we go. Already get that old school death metal feel with a bit of a modern edge. There's killer chainsaw guitar tones. Mix sounds really good. I do wish that guitar accent was up just a touch, personally, but I like the way it works. Oh! Heavy, crunchy riffs, big groove. Z's got a little bit of that black metal in the vocal there. Great fills. Love the breakup and dirt in the vocal. Love that old school tremolo pick riff, familiar with some of the Florida bands like Morbid Angel. Get a bit of that thrash influence tucked in there. Great vocals bouncing across the headphones there. The vocal layer is really on point here. The snarls and growls come through so clear. It's still dirty and not over-processed. Really fantastic harmonies here. Layering in the leads are great. The lead trades here and the stylization of them almost remind me a bit of Testament, and I really love that feeling. Oh, those toms sound gigantic. Love the addition of that in the fills, and I love how humongous they are. Great job on the mix there, Pika. I like how they're bringing that accent melody back in towards the tail end of the track here. That is a really cool addition of the orchestra there. It does give you kind of an old school symphonic black metal feel. Something you might expect with early debut board here. Or even some of the symphonic metal bands out there. Great touch. I actually like the fade out here. I think it's a great call to let that orchestra popped in towards the end of the track come out. Really hope they do something with that with other tracks. That's a great touch. That was absolutely outstanding. That was Sacred Sin, the second single they've released off their forthcoming EP. That was False Deceiver. And I absolutely love the hell out of it for many reasons. It opens up with that chainsaw guitar tone that reminds me of old school Stockholm death metal bands like Entombed and Grave. That really like HM1, Boss HM1, Metal Zone, just overly distorted, highly compressed nastiness in the tones. Love that sound. Been a huge fan of that sound for decades, especially considering I first really started sinking my teeth into death metal back in the very early 90s, 89, 90, 91. So it's nostalgic in that way. The riffs blend quite a bit of early death metal. You get some of that you get some of the Stockholm death in there, but you also get a bit of the thrash elements, some of the black metal, especially with the combination of the different vocal attacks used. This track has a dynamic to it with Z's voice that I didn't necessarily expect, but I really like. You can hear Pika's influence back in the band. Sacred Sin's 2017 release was about as old school as you were going to find. It was heavy, it was very straightforward, in your face, with a nasty, very analog style of mix. This has a lot of melody to it in the accent lines, in some of the harmony lines, in the killer use of the orchestration. And I love the fusion of past and present in this track. Pika, in so many ways, as a player, reminds me a lot of Alex Skolnick from Testament in the fact that he just has this melodic sense to him that you don't find that a lot of players that are playing more of an old school death metal sound, because it's not a melodic death metal track, but there's melodicism to it. There's those melodic leads, there's the addition of the orchestration, and that really does some cool things to the track. I think it's fantastic. I think the band is firing on all cylinders. Personally, I'd like that accent lead popped up a little bit more, but I do have some hearing deficiency on my left side as an individual. So that could be the effect for me. It probably sounds better to those of you that don't have asymmetrical hearing loss like I do. So there's that, but that's really the most minor of minor things that I could possibly say, and it's probably just me. Really curious to see what you guys have to say on that. I love the mix. Overall, it's not perfect. It's still got balls and grit to it. It's not sterile. The vocals have that rasp, that punch, that aggression that I want, and they're not overly processed to the gills like so many bands are today. So many death metal bands are layered and layered and layered and full of EQing and all sorts of garbage to make the vocals sound good, and these vocals sound awesome, and they don't have a ton of that. You sound like you're hearing a human and not layers mixed in with a bunch of auto-tune and all sorts of other junk. Love the sound. Hope this continues throughout the rest of the record. Really excited. The band sounds refreshed. Z has his partner in crime back. Got a fantastic second guitar player in Luis. Their drummer sounds outstanding. And I think this mix has all the components the band needs to show that they still have so much to give metal in Portugal and metal across the world in 2020. Fantastic job, gentlemen. Honored to know you. Honored to cover you. Honored to have you as the first Portuguese metal band that I get a chance to cover in 2020. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. Thank all of you out there, and thank all of you guys in the Portuguese scene for 2 amazing years of making me part of your family. I could not be happier and more honored to be there. Let me know what you guys think. You think Sacred Sin is going to once again start climbing up that throne? They certainly deserve to, in my opinion. Thanks, guys. Thank you to my law enforcement, military, veterans, and first responders for what you do every single day. I love you. I appreciate you. I always will. As always, I hope all of you out there, whatever you happen to do, wherever you happen to be in the world, are doing well. You guys have been awesome. I have been Baldman. I will see you in the next one. Be excellent to each other and keep headbanging.